Welcome back to Myth, Legends, and Truth. In today's episode, we're going to explore and dive into El chupacabra. Let's get started. The chupacabra, or chupacabras, is a legendary creature in the folklore of parts of the Americas, with its first sighting reported in Puerto Rico in 1995. The name comes from the animal's reported vampirism. The chupacabra is said to attack and drink the blood of livestock, including goats. Physical descriptions of the creature varies. For example, in Puerto Rico and Latin America, some describe it as a reptilian and alien-like creature, generally as a heavy creature the size of a small bear with row of spines reaching from the neck to the base of the tail. Sighting has been reported in Puerto Rico since the 1970s, and this creature has since been reported as far north as Maine, as far south as Chile, and even outside the Americas, in countries like Russia and the Philippines. All of the reports are anecdotal and have been disregarded as uncorroborated or lacking of evidence. Sightings in North Mexico and the southern United States have been verified as canis, affected by man. According to biologists and wildlife management officials, the chupacabra is nothing more than an urban legend. History of the chupacabra. In 1975, a series of livestock killings in the town of Moca in Puerto Rico were attributed to El Vampiro de Moca, translated in English to the vampire of Moca. Initially, it was suspected that the killings were committed by a satanic cult. Later, more killings were reported around the island, and many farmers reported loss of animal life. Each of the animals were reported to have had its body sucked dry through a series of small circular incisions. The first reported attack, eventually attributed to the actual chupacabras, occurred in March 1995. 8 sheep were discovered dead in Puerto Rico, each with 3 puncture wounds in the chest area and reported completely drained. A few months later, in August, an eyewitness named Madeline Tolentino reported seeing the creature in the Puerto Rico town of Canóvanas, where as many as 150 farm animals and pets were reported killed by the chupacabra. Puerto Rican comedian and entrepreneur Silverio Perez is credited with coining the term chupacabras. Soon after, the first incident were reported in the press. Shortly after the first reported incidents in Puerto Rico, other animals' deaths were reported in other countries, such as Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, and the United States. In October and December of 2018, there came many reports of suspected chupacabras in India. Many domestic animals and poultry were killed in a suspicious manner, similar to other chupacabras attacks. And several people reported that they had seen the chupacabras at large. However, forensic experts concluded that street dogs were responsible for the mass killing of domestic animals and poultry after studying the remains of the corpse. In October 2019, a video recorded by Mundo OVNI showed evidence of an attack on chickens in Puerto Rico made by the chupacabra. The most common description of the chupacabra is that of a reptile-like creature said to have leathery or scaly greenish-gray skin and sharp spines or gills running down its back. It is said to be approximately 3 to 4 feet tall and stands and hops in a fashion similar to that of a kangaroo. Another common description of the chupacabra is of a strange breed of wild dog. This form is mostly hairless and has pronounced spinal ridge, unusually pronounced eye sockets, fangs, and claws. Unlike conventional predators, the chupacabra is said to drain all of the animal's blood, usually through 3 holes in the shape of a downward pointing triangle, but sometimes through only 1 or 2 holes.